I want to start this video off with a full game spoiler warning. If you've not completed Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, I suggest that you come back to this video after you've done so. In this video, I'll be covering the current strategy for the free category of He of the Metal Face. If you want more background on this guide series, I'll have a link in the description to the first video of this series where I talk more about the structure of the series. I'll also have other useful links for mechanics and other general information in the description, as well as a link to a Pastebin with the written version of the build and strategy that I'll be covering in this video. With that out of the way, let's get into the build. So for this time attack, we're going to be playing as Dunban, and we're going to use Charlotte and Shulk as the other two characters in our party. So for Dunban, you're going to want to have an anti-mech-on weapon with the gems, attack stability, first attack plus, and attack plus, as well as some strength gems. I personally like running haste, initial tension, and quick step. I actually didn't use initial tension in the video that I'm going to be showing later in this video, but it would have strictly made my build better to have had it, so I'm going to recommend it here. For Charlotte, once again, you're going to want an anti-mech-on weapon with double attack, physical defense down, and weapon power, as well as some strength, haste. Once again, initial tension is helpful, and then quick step. And Shulk is the character that can be most easily switched out. I've seen the other main runner Test has used Ricky in his runs. I personally prefer Shulk because he has a higher weapon damage, and I run Shulk with physical defense down, double attack, and weapon power, as well as some strength gems, haste, and quick step. Shulk doesn't need initial tension because his crit rate is already 100%. For the arts, the only arts that matter on Dunban are Berserker, Magnum Charge, Buster, and Sword Drive. I don't have these arts maxed here, but you're going to want to have them all maxed as well, just to make sure you're doing as much damage as possible. For Charlotte, you're going to want to have Peerless. Once again, you're going to want to have this art max level. And Shulk's arts don't really matter. I just have Stream Edge and Lariat on him. He shouldn't be using any arts, so it doesn't really matter what you have on him as long as it's not something that he will immediately activate. I'll go ahead and go through my skills here. Dunban's just going all... I'm pretty much just trying all in on strength and movement speed. These are the skills that I am running. Charlotte is pretty much the same thing. Doesn't matter as much what she has on her, but every little bit of extra damage you can get helps, so I typically just have her outfitted for as much damage as possible, as well as linking the haste skills to her so that she can get auto attacks off faster. Then Shulk is basically outfitted the same way as Charlotte, with a lot of haste and strength to make sure that he is doing as much damage as he can, and that he's inflicting the physical defense down that we have him here for. So that's about it for the build. So with that out of the way, I'm going to go ahead and hop into the video review section of this video. Alright, so for the video review section of this video, basically what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be talking through my current PB as of the time of recording, and kind of just talking through the steps of what I do whenever I run this time attack. So to start off with, what I do is I run forward and to the right to where I'm just barely within range of using Monado Buster. And at this point, Mumkar shouldn't see if you're just barely within range of Buster. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to use Berserker, Magnum Charge, and then Buster, and just all three in a row. And ideally, you want Mumkar to survive with very little health. I'll also go ahead and talk about what the AI is going to be doing here. So because of some things about the way the AI interacts with Art Inheritance, Charlotte's going to immediately use Peerless at the start of the wave, pretty much as soon as she draws the weapon. So that will give both Shulk and Dunban a physical attack buff, which is very important for the damage that you need to deal. And Shulk is going to run up to Mumkar, auto attack him, and hopefully inflict physical defense down. So you can go ahead and watch this real quick, and you can kind of get an idea for the sequence of events. So move forward a little bit, use the 3 arts. Charlotte uses Peerless. And you can see right here, Mumkar actually survives, and as I mentioned, that's actually what we want. I'll get into the reason why here in a second, but basically, it's perfectly fine if you do kill Mumkar here if he dies in one hit. Basically, what you'll want to do is you're just going to want to run in a straight line towards Mumkar Wave 2, and just use Buster twice, and then Sword Drive to finish him off. If Mumkar survives, though, it would technically be optimal if you just ran in a straight line towards where Mumkar Wave 2 is going to spawn, But I find that that's not very consistent for actually killing him, and what I like to do instead is I like to walk slightly to the left so that I can auto attack Mumkar on the wave 1 Mumkar, and then hopefully he'll die whenever I'm just barely within the range of, or the aggro range of Mumkar from wave 2. So we can go ahead and see this here. I walk over, get the auto attack, and then Mumkar wave 2 sees me. So at this point, what you're going to want to do is, as I mentioned before, you're going to want to use Buster twice and then Sword Drive once. The reason for this is that the reason why I use Sword Drive instead of a third Buster is that Sword Drive hits quicker in the animation than Buster does. That's just because of the arts they're tied to. But loading. Basically, the two busters should do enough damage to where Sword Drive will kill. So because Sword Drive is going to take less frames to actually hit Mumkar, it's optimal to use that over another buster. So we can go ahead and watch it here. And this is actually where the first attack plus comes into play. You can see the first buster there did a lot more damage than the second buster, and the reason for that is the first attack plus. Having the first attack plus makes this a lot more consistent because as long as he gets physical defense down inflicted on him sometime during it, you should always kill him wave 2 with the sword drive at the end. Whereas if you would not running first attack plus, you would basically need to get the physical defense down before the second buster hits, which I actually didn't get here. So if without first attack plus, this probably would have been a failed run. So I'll go ahead and kind of just let this play out to the end as I kind of talk through the ending things here, but I do hope that you enjoyed this and found this interesting. And if you came to this video looking for how to do this time attack, I hope you found what you were looking for. I find this time attack to not be particularly difficult as long as you know what gems to run and what to do, but figuring that out can be a little bit difficult, especially if you're not super familiar with time attacks. So I do hope that you found this interesting and that you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. See ya.